I commend that community for doing that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead because we got about five minutes before the hour. Okay.
Yeah, we didn't get that one. We all missed it.
Yeah, we'll find out in a second. This is from Brian Taylor Cohen, another guy that I look at a lot, and this is all giving all credit to him. But here's the lawsuit against DeSantis and his cronies for what they did.
Some news here regarding Ron DeSantis and his stunt in using 50 migrants as political pawns by inducing them onto an aircraft and shipping them to Martha's Vineyard. These migrants have filed a class action lawsuit against Ron DeSantis and other Florida officials seeking compensatory, emotional distress, and punitive damages. According to the lawsuit, the migrants accused DeSantis and his co-conspirators of, quote, designing and executing a premeditated, fraudulent, and illegal scheme centered on exploiting this vulnerability for the sole purpose of advancing their own personal, financial, and political interests. This scheme involved DeSantis identifying and targeting class members by trolling streets outside of a migrant shelter in Texas and other similar locales, pretending to be good Samaritans offering humanitarian assistance. It went on to claim, quote, to gain the plaintiff's trust and to induce unwitting cooperation with defendant's scheme, DeSantis and his co-conspirators provided items such as $10 McDonald's gift certificates to class members suffering from chronic food insecurity. After luring plaintiffs by exploiting their most basic needs, they then made false promises that if they were willing to board airplanes to other states, they would receive employment, housing, educational opportunities, and other like assistance upon their arrival. The complaint goes on to reveal that DeSantis and his co-conspirators, quote, told them they were flying to Boston or Washington, D.C., which was completely false. Instead, the chartered airplanes dropped plaintiffs off on Martha's Vineyard in the evening with no food, water, or shelter. No one on Martha's Vineyard knew they were coming. And finally, it's worth noting that, quote, the plaintiffs' participation in the federal immigration processes, to which they were constitutionally entitled, was impeded, as they were transported thousands of miles away from where they needed to continue immigration proceedings. Plaintiffs were not informed that they would be flown to an island off the coast of Massachusetts that could only be reached by plane or ferry. The first time that many of the putative class learned that their destination was Martha's Vineyard was when they were midair. When they arrived, they were not provided with any of the goods and services which they were promised by defendants. They felt defrauded and tricked and were traumatized by the experience. According to a Rolling Stone article written by political reporter Nikki McCann Ramirez, because these migrants were misled about job opportunities and housing and even their destination, DeSantis and his co-conspirators may have committed fraud or even kidnapping. According to Georgetown law professor Heidi Lee Feldman, deception by transport organizers would mean these migrants likely have a viable cause of action to sue DeSantis and those who helped him for intentional infliction of emotional distress as well as pain and suffering. The DOJ could also intervene and take legal action. USC law professor Gene Rees explained that having state officials like DeSantis or Abbott orchestrating these stunts would, quote, frustrate the government's enforcement ability. For his part, California Governor Gavin Newsom revealed that he was, quote, formally requesting the DOJ begin an immediate investigation into these inhumane efforts to use kids as political pawns.
Martin?
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Sorry, I muted myself. So, one, this is not to take away from the situation, but anybody here really believe that these migrants are the ones suing?
Nope, I sure don't.
No.
Right.
I'm like, they can't even speak it. I'm like, what?
With what money?
With what money?
So really,
they left for a $10 McDonald's gift certificate. Don't think you all of a sudden got some cash flow to sue
but
a governor of a state.
But this is where the Democratic Party and its affiliates step in, and also the human rights organizations and stuff that have been fighting on this side of the fight for a while. They now have some chess pieces to play with, and they're gonna play them. And that's not wrong. Okay, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying, are you doing it because it's a part of your overall mission, which is what I suspect it is, or are you doing it because of these people's individual trauma, which I doubt that it is. So at the end of the day, though, it's a good thing. Sue him. At least have him have to spend time but it's still going to come down to like a couple of negative news cycles and then kind of go away, and it'll be resolved and settled in the dark. But
Right. Is he going to just be able to pay money and get out of it?
either that or the case will ultimately get dismissed and they'll be able to have an expedited path to citizenship. So, or green card status.
I'm looking for that one.
I mean, that's probably what they'll get.
I'm
because
really looking at the fact that they're just going to say, look, if y'all drop this, we'll make you citizens. I don't think a green card is going to do it.
Well, I don't think they don't think you can't barter citizenship, not like that. So what I suspect what they'll do, because it's actually one of the things that's a consequence of what he did, like it's in the law somehow. They can be automatically moved forward in the process of naturalization. Like they won't automatically get to be citizens, but they'll be moved forward as far as, you know, because they were victimized, right? They were human trafficking.
Expedited, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So long as they can make the case of human trafficking, which will be very difficult because you're going up against a governor. All right. So if they can make that case, then that'll work.
Why does that make a difference, sis?
Because America has a certain way that it treats its connected and its elite. So this can easily be kind of shifted and twisted around in the courts to turn into more of a political bad faith moment. Like this is something that DeSantis and his team should not have done. It was political malpractice, and it was just kind of slide off on that side, as opposed to going right at it and being like, you deliberately kidnapped or abducted these people and then left them stranded. And this is where the government case comes in about them obstructing justice. What made this, I think I said this before, but what makes this another level worse is these people all have court dates at the immigration offices around the country, and you purposely dump them as far away as possible from those locations. So they're in violation of immigration standards now.
That's low. Very, very low. You know, so with what resources are they going to be?
Yeah, I don't want to be Debbie the Downer on Gavin Newsom. I really don't. But this guy is about the biggest phony that I have. I'm like, dude, if you don't shut up, like, why aren't you?
I kind of like him. I don't know.
I like Gavin Newsom.
He has a used car sales Weissman, like VOD going for. I'm like, dude,
he feels like a politician. Like that's what he feels like. He feels like a politician. So I'm like, that's kind of what you're kind of the job you're applying for.
So I'm like, dude,
he's an old-fashioned politician.
Like now, you in California.
I tell you this much, man. I can't hear you talk, dude. Something about your voice just seemed like
it's agitating, isn't it?
Did you just smoke a whole pack of cigarettes before you did this interview? Because it's like, are you okay? No,
we just got done listening
I
to
like Gavin Newsom. I don't want to get you the policies of Gavin Newsom. But when he did that interview, and I think that they need to go, and I went, oh my God, is you okay? Are you sick?
No, he's not okay. He just got used car salesman vibes.
Dude, you need to go gargle something, and you need some salt water, and you need something to. That's not good. Well,
I'll tell you what. If you put Gavin Newsom up against Donald Trump, then Gavin Newsom will probably win. Yeah. If you put Gavin Newsom,
I'm gonna disagree with you on that one.
That's fine. If you put Gavin Newsom against whatever DeSantis' first name is, DeSantis will probably win. Because the two of them head to head, I think, because the left is so purity driven that they're like, I'm not really feeling that dude like that. I
kind of have to disagree on that. I don't think Newsom will lose against DeSantis if a head to head.
No, not against DeSantis.
DeSantis is scary to everybody.
Now I'll tell you this.
Because DeSantis is losing against the Democratic governor candidate. I'm like, he can't even look like he's not even gonna beat that guy.
I'll be he ain't losing to Charlie. If it's that big old Democratic panel that they have and everything, and DeSantis and Newsom just happen to be on that same panel talking, DeSantis is going to walk away viewed as the winner. Because it's just going to be too much noise, and DeSantis, just like Trump, is just the loudest. Newsom is not a loud person.
DeSantis is also more shrewd. Like take Trump's politics and take Cruz's intelligence and debating skills, put them together and eliminate the creepiness, and you have DeSantis. Right,
DeSantis is creepy to me. I'm like,
he's creepy, but like Cruz gives you like that.
No, Cruz
he should
just
be in prison somewhere, feel, right?
Like he makes me feel icky. I'm like, ugh.
Right?
So I get what you're saying.
DeSantis is more presentable,
Than Cruz, Than Ted Cruz, I'll give you that.
DeSantis is the person that you know is just so icky that you know I don't want to shake your hand, dude. Ted
Cruz, you don't even want to be in the same room with him.
Yeah, thank you. Cruz is
you're really like, go away.
Room with you, dude. Like I feel like something.
Like, could you stay over on that side of the state and I'll live on this side?
Your body and land on me.
America is obsessed with image and feel, and DeSantis feels like a politician and he feels like a CEO. I'm telling you, that's how he feels to people. His politics are abhorrent, but he's not scary. Trump is scary.
But we were comparing him to Ted Cruz.
Right. Well, yeah, I brought Ted Cruz in just because, he has great debate skills and he's crafty, but he's really more like Gollum from Lords of the Rings, right? So he's a nasty little creature.
But Mickey, you know what? Name a politician. Name a politician who don't.
Yeah, because even Biden flutters.
I mean, especially right now, where we're talking the Republican Party now. Now, I ain't talking about in the past. In the past, no, because Republicans and Democrats at that point will talk you to death to the point where you just don't want to even ask them any questions no more. But at this point, yeah, they're the hit and leave type politics. I'm a blah 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 blah.
Yeah, the reason why DeSantis and
Cruz
other
is
politicians,
great at that. Cruz is mastered that.
But Cruz doesn't stutter because he's got his.
That's what I mean. Cruz don't have to stutter because Cruz has said what he said. He knows that the vote back is coming, but he already walked off.
Yeah.
He goes.
He knows how to manipulate any discussion.
Yeah. He has no skin in the presidential game because he criticized Trump. Trump insults his wife, and then he turns around and feels phone calls. What?
Trump is, dude? I mean, Cruz, his career will never be more than what it is.
No, he's
never be, because he's insulted too many people. No one has ever liked him since he was a kid. And then you got the situation where Trump punked you out like that.
And then you work for him.
And then you go to work for him. And not only do you work for him, you're going to become a major advocate for him.
I'm glad to work by the president. Sure, he called my wife ugly. Sure, he said.
Yeah, but to a Trump is
now you don't punked yourself out to.
Yeah, he will never, ever run for president. He should don't run.
Now you don't punk yourself out.
Oh, no, let me take that back. Please run.
Well, what he did with Tucker was bad, but it was already too late. Because the thing that people keep missing about the Trump crew is you don't get to assume Trump's mantle. Nope. Right? No. That mentality, that mindset has to adopt you. You don't get to go and choose them. So they had Trump. If Trump wins, they'll stay with Trump. If Trump doesn't run, then they'll go with DeSantis. They've chosen who's next.
Okay.
Cruz can never be that. Then they never will respect him because they know he's a bootlicker. And that's it. That's
him or Lindsey Graham. Them two might as well forget it.
I don't know about I was going to say that. So I'll put my money on the bootlicker of Lindsey Graham over Cruz any day, though.
I wouldn't dare. If I had to rank him, I pick Cruz over Lindsey Graham. At least Ted Cruz, he's a good debater.
But you know, Lindsey has never tried to go for president, as far as I know.
Yes, Lindsey Graham did run for president.
He did?
Yes, he dropped out, or he called Trump a traitor, a narcissist, a homophobe.
Yeah, you don't remember all that?
Yeah.
No. He was part of the
He's
clown
been
car.
primary a couple times. Yeah.
Yes.
He's a traitor. He's a narcissist.
I remember him making a statement.
I didn't know he was part of the Republican clown car.
He was running.
But you know, that's funny too. The Republicans were the first ones to do this. They had 13 people running at one time. And that is how that is how Trump managed to split the field effectively and grow a core and then win. Then the Democrats did the same
20
thing right behind them.
No, they went 20. They said, we're going to beat this 13. We're going to up this to 20 people.
Right. But I'm saying, like, that whole, you've lost all dignity of the process, right? So now the Democrats go and do the same thing. So now we're in a world where everybody runs.
But shouldn't everybody run?
No, everybody shouldn't run.
No, I think the rest to get the best. Well,
so long as you have a two-party system, it doesn't work. Well, we would need ranked choice voting, or we would need to have multiple parties like a parliamentary system. Those would work, and you can let everybody run. But when you only have two parties, ultimately all you're doing is splitting and resplitting the vote within the same little.
But usually they all coalesce behind the nominee.
And
only at towards
Tracy,
the end.
It's not going to change, and I can tell you exactly why it's not going to change. I can tell you the exact person that created it to never change. I'll let y'all guess who it is.
You said you were going to tell us.
Yeah, you did say you was going to tell us.
Okay, now I'm going to let y'all guess it.
Because we don't know. Are you talking a Democrat, a Republican?
He was a Democrat.
Bill Clinton.
Nope.
Barack Obama.
Obama.
Yeah, he did.
Because they're going to always have this inkling of the person that came out of nowhere.
But it was only like 5 people. When Obama ran, it was literally 5 people on the Democratic side. It was literally 5.
I know.
It was Hillary, Obama, John Edwards.
To these things
and
thinking to themselves, I don't stand a chance in hell, but maybe I do stand a chance in hell because nobody knew anything about me, and I'm going to come out of nowhere and lap the field.
He didn't really come out of nowhere. Hillary was just such a terrible candidate.
No, they literally chose Barack Obama, and they put him up against Hillary just to see which one of the two. They didn't care which one won, but those are the two that the Democrats wanted, period. Like, it was, they didn't care. All the rest of them didn't matter. Those
they
were
were
the
like,
two
okay,
that we were going to have to choose from. And ultimately, Hillary stumbled. And I don't know, in weird fashion, sexism actually outran racism for one election cycle.
I don't think that first time, her campaign the first time was actually better than the second when she actually won the nomination, because she wasn't running on, I'm a woman, look at me. That second one, I'm like, girl, we got the vote for you wanted.
What hurt her though
was her.
Well, no, it wasn't even that. Like, Bill is what really hurts her. But what really hurt her though,
which is really
as a Democrat. Oh, I agree. It shouldn't. But as a Democrat, you cannot clinch the nomination without the black vote. Not right now. Now, next 2 election cycles, that's going to change. But right now and going towards the past, you need the black vote. They put the first black dude up against her, and he was squeaky clean. So she didn't have a chance. I mean, by running the numbers, she didn't have a chance at that point because everybody was watching Barack Obama. Like, does he have a chance? I don't know if he has a chance. I don't know. Oh, he's doing good. Oh, and then that was it. But then the second election, she should have won. She did win by the numbers, okay? But the Electoral College is still there. You had the Russian interference. You had the James Comey thing.
Yeah, it came out 2 days before the election. Oh, well, what?
The biggest thing
was her
that hurt her is the fact that she's a woman. Because on paper, her resume is better than nearly anybody in recent history to ever run for that office.
No,
but she got Bill attached to her.
That was what hurt her. Because if she didn't have him attached to her, she would have.
I don't know. I think sexism still got in the way, because in the evangelical community, as well as even in the Black evangelical and Baptist communities, there's this thing about a woman being in charge like that. And you could hear the rumblings, because back then I was in the church, but you could hear the rumblings. Like, I don't know. So there are so many things that were kind of, but at the end of the day, she had the most votes. She really lost because the Midwest was like, nah.
But she didn't campaign in the Midwest either.
She didn't, but
she didn't.
Yeah, she ran a bad campaign. Like, she was like, I'm not going to this state or this state. No.
Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, and Minnesota. Why you gonna skip them 3 states? Why? That's like skipping California. Well, you could skip California because you know.
Skip Cali, I guess.
You can, because it's gonna go Democrat. Like, really? Like, California's not gonna go Republican.
Like, aside from the bad press cycle, I'm like, the Democrats should just ignore Florida.
It's Republican. Why pay attention to it?
Yeah,
but they have to go, because if you ignore Florida, you'll have a bad, like, the news cycle will eat you alive.
Yeah, they didn't go to Florida. Why not? Marlon, you muted. We can't hear you. Nope.
Why did I mute myself?
We don't know.
So I'm gonna go ahead and put a stop, and what we're gonna do is go ahead and go into our 3-minute break to reboot and refresh. And the reason that I yelled out we had 5 minutes to go was that at that time it would have been 1 hour. We're now 17 minutes over. So now you know.
You probably shouldn't have muted yourself.
Because we was just sitting here.
That's what it was. So we're gonna go ahead and reboot and refresh, and we'll see you on the other side with a returning Real or Nah. And I don't have a Am I the A-hole this week because
it's Trump.
Watch these videos of the week. Yeah. So it's a combination of Fosse's videos